Okay, so for these crops, you can process them on a small scale. You can process them on a large scale. One thing when it comes to uh, food products, cosmetic products, because cosmetic products are products that have to do with the largest organ in the body, which is the skin. So if you don't if the processing or the production is not so good, it can affect like a part of the human body that is going to be visible to everyone. So it's not something that you can hide. So if you are selling a a cosmetic product, like maybe it's cream, body cream, maybe it's a facial product, maybe powder, that kind of thing, or even maybe like a face cream, a skin balm, all those kind of things. The processing, there's a standard for the processing because nobody wants something that they will regret using later. So talk less of when you want to export such products. So when it comes to food, cosmetics, and other things like that, you need to really look into the processing. So like this banana flour or plantain flour that you can easily process from your own end or from your own farm. Sometimes, depending on the quantity that you are exporting or depending on the country where it's going to, there are some requirements, or let me say standards, that will be set into place. Like they might ask, one of the requirements might be that, okay, when you are doing your processing, you must use a stainless steel equipment, like a stainless steel equipment for your production process or for your processing, because they know that um, for you to actually use that means that's a standard equipment and it's going to be expensive. Importing such into the country is even going to be way more expensive. So if you are using that kind of thing, that's okay. There is an international standard to the production system. And because you are exporting like maybe several containers of the products, they really want to know that, oh, this thing is very good and it's okay for consumption in our country. The same also goes for cosmetics too. But when you are, producing in small quantity, maybe everything you want to ship out or you are sending out is just 50 kilogram or it's just 20 kilogram, 100 kilogram, 500 kilogram, they might not even look at it. So it won't be like when you're actually shipping out like 20 feet container or maybe 5 containers, 10 containers, 3 containers of the same product. And one thing you must also understand is that all these products, if by the time you process them into a finished product or maybe a semi finished product, because it's not also like a must that you do your processing into a finished product that just goes direct into the consumer's mouth. So it could be like a semi-finished product that you can supply companies in the US, in UK, in Canada, in different countries, that they will now be the one to take it to the finished product. So like the cassava chips that I spoke about earlier, that cassava chips, no one can consume it the way it is. They are just going to process it when it gets to where it's going to, So also you have cashew nuts. They are just going to process it. So you can do all this kind of processing and just look into the areas that will really be beneficial to you. So it could be small scale, it could be large scale, it could be medium scale. So now, depending on the quantity, the scale of production that you've chosen, there are several questions that have come into, okay, if I'm producing plantain flour, right? I go to market, I buy plantain. Let's say I buy plantain like 200,000 naira worth of plantain, unripe plantain. I think one can even do a variety. Yes, you can do a variety of unripe and ripe, that kind of thing. If depending on you, and then you dried it. After drying it, you grinded it into powder. After grinding it into powder, maybe you want to add another flavor to it. Maybe you want there are some items or additional vitamins and all that you want to fortify and all that. That you already did your research to know the kind of quantity, required quantity for 1 kilogram, so you don't add, too much of all those. So, and after doing your packaging and all that, you are now looking at it, okay, do I have to add up a label? Do I need certification like do I need a NAFDAC number? So most times you don't need any of these things. One of my friends about this 2020, about 2020 then, between 2019 and 2020 then, we used to export a lot of Gary. So he produces this Gary then in Ibadan, and what we just do is white sacks. We just make sure it's a plain white sack. So you can have Gary, you can have like 500 bags of that Gary that will be loaded inside the container, shipped off. There's nothing written on it at all. So the thing is that it depends on the country where your product is going. It depends on the quantity you want to send. It depends on what the person you are sending it to. What is the person going to use that product to do? Like, is he going to consume it himself, like for him and his family? Or is he going to resell? Is he going to sell it again? So there's a client of mine, a container I sent to him of recent just got there this week. So he was able to clear that container. I think he completed the container yesterday. In that container, I bought some drinks in that container. I bought there's Ribena there. There's Lucozade Boost there. There's Origin is there. Yes, Origin is there. What's the name of this Obi Cubana's bitters too? Yes, Odogu bitters too is there. There are two different brands of palm wine there. Two different brands of palm wine. Which drink again is there? There's Smirnoff. Yes, I bought Smirnoff. Almost about maybe 200 packs of Smirnoff. I bought like about 3 different types of malts. There's Maltina, there's Malta Guinness, and I've forgotten the other malt. There are about 3 different types of malt. Then which drink again? I want to try and remember all the drinks. So where I'm going is that, you see, for all these drinks that I mentioned, because just the drinks alone, it was what it was with I think I spent about between 4 and 5 million naira just buying those drinks. But the thing is, the country I sent it to, that country, they can't read English. They can't read English. So what he uses the drinks for is that he sells it. He's a Nigerian guy, he finished studying in Nigeria, went there and all that. So what he will now do is that he will now label, like inside the container, before offloading those drinks from that container, he's going to relabel the packs. Like that Smirnoff that I bought there, that Smirnoff is inside a nylon, white nylon pack. So it's a transparent pack. There's nothing on it. For Maltina used to have like a half little carton underneath it. The same for Malta Guinness, and high malt? Yes, high malt, and all that. So you will now use another big label and stick it on those packs, one by one. On that big label, that one will write it in their own language, like the language of that country. That okay, this is Smirnoff, the price, the content, what's there, how many is in a pack, when it is going to expire, those kind of things. So that they can read it and know that, this is good, this is good, this is good for us, this is good. So that's what I'm trying to say, that it depends on the country that you are shipping to, the clients, what the person is going to use it for. So the person might actually tell you that, don't worry, just send it without label, without any. Then some people can tell you that, you need to print their own label. So there are some labels that I used to print for some products like dairy, like smoke catfish, I said smoke, like dry catfish, like crayfish, like stockfish. So I'll have to do labels, different kind of labels, for the company's brand and all that. So when it comes to agricultural, when you do all your processing and all that and completed, you can ship it as it is, making sure that, what you are sending to your client is not going to spoil. It won't rot. There won't be any complaints. There is no sand, there is no stone, there is no, everything is well made and neat. So you can process into anything, even bean flour, pap. Pap also, there's dried pap, there's wet pap, depending on what you are producing. Spices, very, very good area, to look into. Dried vegetables like bitter leaf, like ugu leaf, like, whatever the leafy vegetable is, you can export it dried because it can't even spoil then. White beans, beans without the cover, without the back, that you've dried, you can export it. You can export bean flour also. So there are several things that you can look into exporting from your backyard, from your house, from your farm, So like I said in one of classes, that even in my own house here, I have about a plot of land. I live on the island in Lagos. There's like a plot of land. There's still space at my back also. The space at my back is filled with ugu leaves and bitter leaves and all that, but we consume it in my own house. But the front is something that I can convert into just ugu vegetable farm or bitter leaf farm. That's just the only thing it's going to be producing, and I can find a way to be getting maybe 50 kilogram worth of dried leaves every week. So you just need to calculate that, so that by the time you start producing, you know that in a month I'm getting 200 kilogram worth of this product from my backyard or from here. You pack it, since it can't spoil, like in the next 6 months, it's still very okay, it's still very good. So all you just have to do is to set up those structures, those systems that will now attract the right clients that will buy from you. So operational structures in South in Nigeria, companies, offices that you can get in the South region of the country. Nigeria Export Promotion Council is there. Nigeria Customs is also in all the ports that are in South. You get the customs there. Corporate Affairs Commission, they have 1 or 2 offices in the South also. So I mentioned the states where NACO offices are, and SACO is in Port Harcourt. So NACO is a National Aviation Handling Company. SACO is Skyline Aviation Handling Company. So those are like the biggest when it comes to air freight logistics partners or agents or companies in Nigeria. Those are the 2 biggest that really handles import and export when it comes to air freight. So these are like structures that you really need to be able, or let me say, for smooth operation of your farm or of your business when you are trying to set up that export department or export structure, the framework within your company. So what do you do with all this knowledge, with everything that we've been discussing about? The first thing is that this will help you to design a framework of crop to focus on. So this will help you to know what to really do with your farm or with your land, you know, the kind of crop that you have to go into. You know, we've discussed in previous classes about soybeans. Like soybeans is a very good exportable crop with a very high demand in Nigeria, and you can, from plant to harvest, you know, like the production time frame for soybeans is just like 3 months. If you do your research well and your planning is good, it's just like 3 months, and you can sell soybeans currently for as high as $1,500 a ton. Before soybeans, I used to buy soybeans in 2018, 2019, I used to buy soybeans for like 80, 90,000 naira per ton. Right now, soybeans is selling about 600,000 naira a ton. So you can see the difference. Then make sure the crop or livestock that you want to actually go into have a high export value. You know, so you have to do your calculation. Do you have to process? Do you have to export it that way? Which crop is actually very expensive? Like when we're talking about dried split ginger, and that you can even export dried split ginger for as high as like $3,000, $4,000 per ton. Shea nuts, shea butter rather, cocoa butter. In our first class, we discussed between shea butter and cocoa butter, and why cocoa butter is very expensive. It's even more expensive than shea butter. You know, that you can actually, so you have to do your research well, do research your environment, nearness to the port, and other operational partners. So that's one of the reasons why we are focusing on the regional areas in Nigeria. So maybe it doesn't even mean that you have to come from that region of the country. Like for instance, doesn't mean you have to be Igbo before you can operate from Southeast. Doesn't mean you have to be Yoruba before you can operate from Southwest. So it gives you a broad view of how everything works and how you can structure your export business. Then put structures into place to attract the right export buyers. So that's one of the things that these series of classes is going to do for you. Then schedule your farm process and journey. So it helps you to, you know, schedule the process, the journey, where you are starting from, and what your exit strategy is going to be like. So we've come to the end of South South for today. For all those who have been sending messages and have been able to reply, and those that I have not been able to reply because the number you send me message on is actually our school's number. So it's only with me maybe in the night and weekend. But there's a book. I wrote this book, I think last year for some time now, but it's in print. It started being in print, I think this year. You can order it online. So I sent the link into the WhatsApp group the last time. We can get it there. So for those who want to get like in-depth information, who just needs a manual that they can always go to every time, you can get this book. The physical print, it will be sent to you anywhere in Nigeria. It's 15,000. You can buy the ebook, it's 5,000. You can read it online also, I think for 3,000 or 2,500 naira. So for some people, they don't like going to YouTube to watch the classes. So maybe the book will be better. But if you don't mind, we have, in fact, if you spend time on the YouTube channel, I can bet you that before you watch all the classes, you will be an expert in international trade and exporting. And don't forget to also subscribe to our YouTube channel. So before I end the class, do you have any question? Any question at all concerning everything that we've spoken about? Next week, we are going to look at, I think maybe South East or maybe one of the northern regions. So any questions so far, please? Yes, I'm seeing Olamide, I'm seeing Jamiu. So I know, I don't know if it's Mr. Olamide or Mrs. Olamide. I know you've been in the class from start. So do you have any question so far? What about Mr. Jala? Mr. Jamiu, can you hear me? Okay, Mr. Olamide, how can we get practical training on this farm to export business? Well, the thing is that, right now, the world has evolved that it's not a must that we are in a physical class before we can do a, a lecture like this. So, but one thing is we usually have a master class we call foodstuff export master class where we actually go into a lot of foodstuff exporting and mini exporting, but I don't think we are doing any this year anymore. So basically for this, one thing is that it's going to be a continuous thing. Like this farm to export series is going to be a continuous thing that is going to be coming up every Friday, 11 a.m. So what I can just say is that if you are patient enough to to go through the classes and all that, I believe you can get adequate knowledge on it all. But one thing that we are offering right now is if you want a one-on-one coaching, we can offer you that. So we offer two different types of one-on-one coaching. There's one-on-one coaching on mini exporting, which is the category where farm to export falls into, or foodstuff exporting. And we have one-on-one coaching on containerized exports if you are doing big time export and all that. But one-on-one coaching is, because it's not to waste anyone's time. So it has to be that, oh, you are ready for the business. That, oh, even before we end the coaching and all that, you are already doing what we have for you. So you're already into the business and the coaching is expensive, it's more expensive. One-on-one coaching is $1,000 for mini exporting or for foodstuff exporting, which farm to export falls under. So while our containerized export one-on-one coaching is $5,000. So when you look at it, this is something that we are going to make sure that you start your business, the frameworks are there, the structures are set up, and you start getting clients and you start exporting to people and you start earning in the business. So that is what the one-on-one coaching, that's what it does. That's what it's all about. But you can just either buy like the copy of book that I just spoke about now. So you can get a copy for a more in-depth knowledge into the business. So that's that for the question. I hope I answered your question. Then Mr. Jami, okay, I see your question. Yes, the video, what we do is that this like this training, everything is going to be uploaded on YouTube. So you can get the video from YouTube. So like, and the link too will be dropped in the WhatsApp group. You get the link there, and you can, I don't know, but I think you can download, can get the video from there. The book, for A to Z of Mini Exporting, the physical copy is 15,000. The ebook is 5,000. If you are reading it online, I think it is either 2,500 or 3,000. Yes. So that's and as long as you are in Nigeria, if you're ordering the physical copy, you get it anywhere in Nigeria. You get it anywhere in Nigeria. So thank you very much, everyone. I'm going to open the WhatsApp group. We are going to open the WhatsApp group for further discussion. We'll drop the uploaded video, and all questions will be attended to. So thank you very much and have a great day.